like the Good Law Project generally. So the Good Law Project are a very left-wing organization, political, nonprofit company. Their mission is to achieve change in social and government accountability, right? They want government accountability, which is wonderful. So especially in the years with Boris Johnson, they were there every week holding them accountable. And I think they're a great organization, but it really surprises me that they're the ones challenging this. They argue that the ban would be unlawful, disproportionate, and unenforceable, and could breach children's rights and freedom of expression, which I don't know if maybe he doesn't have kids. Does he not have kids? They warn that the policy risks outsourcing age verification to private tech companies, which, we've already seen that happen with porn, and every site that's graphic or over 18. I think gambling and porn definitely now have age verifications on their sites. And so they're arguing that, okay, you're going to put that kind of tech, you're just giving money away to other technologies. They say that there's a lot of good. Essentially, when I saw his speech, he was saying, how do we get the young left to access those how do we get the young people to access those on the left who are not being platformed by mainstream media, if not through social media? And I went, whoa, no, I'm sorry. You don't get to fry my kid's brain on the hopes of them voting for you when they're 18. Doesn't work that way. So really surprised by that. They've questioned whether the government has produced sufficient evidence that a ban would improve child well-being, which I am a little bit gobsmacked by, especially since the only way to really gather that information is to have a ban, is to literally, you need to find children that are, take social media away from a group of kids, take their phones away, take their screens away, even for the summer. Like, pay them. Just be like, here's your summer job. You do not look at a screen all summer and you will get this much money. Obviously, the slight problem with that is that you're only going to get data from the kids who have the either intelligence to realize that that's a really good deal or the stamina to be able to sustain it. But still, I guarantee it's in their interests to not be on social media, especially given the way that the algorithms are. I mean, to be fair, Good Law Project is saying, the one thing I do agree with them on is they're saying that instead of banning kids from from being on social media, what you should be doing is regulating tech companies. And I think that is a very, very good point. This is almost easier. It's easier to go, well, we're going to let Facebook and Meta and, TikTok do whatever they want. We just won't let our kids see it. And that is a very good argument, because the fact is we already know that if you do not expose children to, say, for example, diversity of thought, of idea, of person, if you don't expose your children safely to the concepts of things like sex and relationships, then they often will go nuts. I remember going to university, and I never drank. I'm not a drinker, but I went, and the number of kids that joined with me, they're first weeks away from home, they've never done their own laundry, they don't really know how to cook, and they've never been able to have alcohol because their parents were strict. They all got alcohol poisoning. They all went way too far. They didn't know what they were doing. So yes, there is an argument that instead of just banning children and then letting them have full access to it at 16, that we actually provide them with a structured environment that is controlled. I'll give you that. And if they achieve that, if the Good Law Project actually achieves a technological regulation of algorithm, then I will support that.